Next up on 15 News, International Fest returns to the city. John Pyatt sculpture installed on Evergreen Road roundabout. Holiday food drive feeds numerous area families. We'll have all of this and much more on this weekly edition of 15 News. Southfield's signature cultural event recently returned to the pavilion as the International Festival touched down to present a wide array of ethnically infused performances across a vast spectrum of the area's cultural diaspora. Presented in cooperation with the International Institute of Metropolitan Detroit, the festival looked to bring awareness, education, and understanding of different cultures over the course of a weekend. The three-day event kicked off with a naturalization ceremony where immigrants were welcomed to the United States through a formal swearing-in.
So help me God. All right, congratulations. You are now new U.S. citizens.
So today we are having a naturalization ceremony, and that is the culmination of the legal immigration process whereby an immigrant comes into this country and goes through the legal process, culminating in citizenship where they become an American. So today these folks here behind me will be raising their right hand and swearing their allegiance to the United States, taking the oath of allegiance, and at that moment they will become Americans.
Many of the assembled audience experienced a deep sense of happiness as they were sworn in as new citizens, because for them, the process of naturalization has often been years in the making.
For some of the folks behind me that are becoming Americans today, their process could take as little as 3 years, and for some as many as 30 or 40 years. And so it could be a long process for some folks. And so they become very emotional because this is the moment that they're becoming Americans. Maybe their spouse is an American, maybe their children are already Americans, born here. And so this is really just kind of an emotional time for them where they're swearing their allegiance to the United States. They're becoming part of the American family. They're being called Americans for the first time instead of an immigrant or instead of a green card holder. Now they'll be an American.
Other noteworthy aspects of the International Festival were cultural dance and vocal performances ranging from Polish, Chinese, and Indian groups to African, Irish, and Latin ensembles. The International Festival has its roots in the Old World Market and has been an annual tradition and staple in the Metro Detroit area since 1926. Originally designed to spur the buying and selling of cultural goods in the public square, this year's festival maintained that tradition as attendees were able to purchase imported craft items, jewelry, books, food, and other goods from vendors representing various international cultures. The International Festival continues to offer a global perspective that brings the community together.
You're going to see performances that, a celebration for each culture, the folkloric dance from each country, and the people who's in the stage dressed with their cultural attires. And the music they dance to is the music from their own country. It is so very important today to start thinking globally and act locally. Know about your neighbors. Know who they are, where they come from, their roots, their background. That is very important for you, for your children, and for your grandchildren.
Visit cityofsouthfield.com to learn more about the International Festival. Visit iimd.org to learn more about the International Institute of Metro Detroit. Southfield has seen a recent infusion of artwork around its municipal campus, as was underscored by the recent installation of a new diversity sculpture. The sculpture was created and donated to Southfield by the late visual artist John Pyatt. Having recently passed, Pyatt, who was wheelchair-bound, was able to see his art piece being installed on the North Roundabout on Evergreen Road before his untimely death. Friends of Pyatt were happy to see that he lived long enough to see the artwork installed.
One of the things that really touched me was the actual installation of the piece, because John, in his limited capacity, wanted to be there when the piece was installed to make sure that the orientation of the piece was perfect, so that the viewing of it would be optimized. And in his limited condition, you know, with a motorized wheelchair and a van, bringing him out to the site and having him ride around and okay everything was so moving. It was a beautiful gesture on how passionate artists are. Even, you know, in the condition he was in, he wanted to make sure that it was perfect. And to me, that is an expression of how passionate and how devoted people are, not people, but how devoted artists are to what they're doing.
The sculpture has been named Diversity and represents one of the city's long-standing mission statements, and that is to be an inclusive community and diverse cultural enclave, all of which was symbolically captured in the construction and stylistic cues of the artwork.
The sculpture is sort of bilateral. You know, one side of the sculpture is kind of open work. It's round, and you know, it sort of comes to a point at the top. And the other side of the sculpture is very different. It's very angular, and you know, and it rises first of all away from the other half of it, but then the two halves kind of come back together. So, you know, I think part of the concept is that in diversity you have harmony. And what John says that he tried to do with the piece is he wanted to have two very different figures that were dancing with each other. He wanted to make that metal dance, and you know, the differences between the sides, you know, come together to create a very unified sculpture. It was his decision to paint it red. And he invested in the sculpture before the city even accepted it. He had a studio assistant, and he had his assistant, you know, prepare the sculpture so that it could be installed if it were accepted. And he chose the color.
Southfield isn't the only place where Pyatt's art is displayed. Other communities include Brighton and Detroit. Diversity is a steel sculptured piece painted primarily red and stands 16 feet tall and sits on a 4 by 6 foot wide concrete base. It is the latest in an ongoing initiative to install art in public places around Southfield. To learn more about the Southfield Arts Initiative, visit gofundme.com/freethebear. With the holiday season upon us, thoughts often turn to helping those in need. A recent food drive by a local college fraternity helped to reinforce that notion. The local Southfield VFW Hall was the focal point of a Thanksgiving food donation drive that looked to foster a spirit of holiday cheer. Sponsored by the Southfield Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Incorporated, the drive aimed to spread the spirit of giving through collection and distribution of food bags to various family groups.
This opportunity gives us the chance to be able to feed families. This year we're feeding close to 300 families. 260 to be exact, and this allows us to be able to do what we can during the holiday season for those who are less fortunate, those who need service around this time.
Contained in the food bags was a 12-pound turkey, corn, green beans, macaroni and cheese, and Jiffy Mix for bread, all the fixings necessary for a nutritious holiday meal. The group feels that the drive has a powerful impact on the lives of area families while it continues to grow in scope.
This makes me feel really good personally. I mean, we've been doing this as a chapter for 30 years. We started off giving in 1986 maybe 50 baskets a year. Now we're up to between 250 to 300 baskets that we give out annually. And the impact on the community is huge. There's a lot of people that are in need, and this is a way for them to get a complete Thanksgiving meal for their family during the holiday period.
A collection drive of this magnitude demands a high level of commitment from volunteers, sponsors, and sweat equity from members, items that the fraternity does not take for granted, especially as it looks to plan next year's food drive and other related events.
Yes, I mean, you know, people really don't understand. They see the end result, but they don't really know how much work it actually takes to be a part of this particular event here. We started planning this thing out as early as August, working with our vendors. We've had some great vendors who have allowed us some great pricing to be able to afford to give to so many families. So again, our vendors, the brothers, it's a lot of work, and everybody's always have all hands on deck.
Another noteworthy aspect of the drive was the mentorship of area teens. By way of the fraternity's foundation arm, the Southfield Kappa League, Kappa leaders see the drive as a mechanism to instill a sense of communal pride and difference-making in area youth while developing their leadership skills.
Well, it's good for us to be examples. We as black men in the community, we're all college-educated men, and we try to impress upon these young men the need to, one, get an education so that you can take care of yourself in your later life, and two, to still be able to reach back into the communities from which you come from to help out other people that are in need.
This isn't the only event or initiative that Kappa Alpha Psi presents throughout the year. They also hold a scholarship presentation and various other community engagement forums that make a difference around the city. The takeaway for the group is that these events have a broad and long-standing positive effect on the community.
Well, you know, it's the feeling is tremendous. You know, one of the main reasons why I became a member of Kappa Alpha Psi is to be able to have a vehicle and arm to give back at. And I can tell you, since the moment I became a member of Southfield Alumni Chapter, there's been so many opportunities that has been given to myself personally to be able to affect people in the community. And so one of our mottos is to help and assist the aims and purpose of the community, and we've been able to do that, and I'm so fortunate to be able to be a part of those things.
To learn more about upcoming events, initiatives, and activities of Southfield Alumni Chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, visit southfieldcapsi.org. The spirit of giving can also be found at the municipal level, as the City of Southfield has community giving programs all throughout the year. Here are some events that you should be aware of. Capital improvement projects and construction continue as we dive into the holiday season. For the latest updates, we now turn to our City Beat reporter, Sarah Himes.
Yes, Chris, we are here on location at Franklin and Telegraph Road, where a water and sewer main break occurred in late October. As everyone continues to decorate for the holiday season, Franklin and Telegraph Road is being decorated in orange to signify the long repair project ahead for these two main roads.
Well, what you're seeing now, you're looking at, it could be upwards of 6 months that this is here.
It started out just as a typical water main break, but crews quickly discovered that there were other issues as well. This included the sewage line that turned this quick repair job into a multiple-month monstrosity. Now that the concerns have been shifted to the sewage system, maintenance crews have been draining the lines in order to make the next move.
To put it in general terms, you've got many residents. I'm making up a number here. 80% of the residents have a 12-inch sewer in their backyard or at their street, at the front of their house. And some have a 15-inch. And that's considered large for us, a 15-inch, or large enough. This is 4 feet. This is a big sewer. And this has been impacted. This particular sewer picks up everybody from all the way from Inkster and Northwestern. You're talking, I don't know the exact number. It could be 1,000 people and hundreds of businesses collectively come into this sewer on a 4 foot. It's not measured in inches anymore. It's 4 feet. You could drive a small Volkswagen through here.
As the weather becomes unbearable throughout the winter season, the City of Southfield wants the residents to know that they will be working on this project through the snow and cold weather to fix the problem. Now, the city's water and sewer supervisor, AJ Jensen, wants you to know that if you do have any questions, concerns, or if you have any water or sewer issues, you need to give him a call.
They're always welcome to call the Water and Sewer Department. It's 248-796-4850. And again, my name's AJ Jensen. You're always welcome to call me.
And of course, we will keep you updated as this project continues throughout the season. Back to you, Chris.
Sarah, now that the sewage concerns are being addressed, do the area residents and businesses currently have any other water issues?
Well, at that time, during the water main break and the sewage issues, the water was temporarily shut off.
But AJ and his crew were able to find a safe and alternative way to provide water to the residents and
businesses, and just in time for the holiday season too.
Now, speaking of the holiday season, holiday travel is also a major concern. Is there any chance that this road may open at any time soon?
Well, as you heard AJ talking earlier, that this is an ongoing project that can take up to 6 months alone just with construction.
Right now, Franklin Road at Telegraph is completely blocked off, as you can see behind me, and a lot of drivers use this to bypass traffic on Telegraph Road and Northwestern Highway. Businesses like Irene Myomasology is still open, and residents are able to get to their homes with no problem. But if you use this way as a shortcut, you will need to figure out another route. Back to you, Chris.
As we move towards the holiday season, many thoughts turn to holiday shopping. With some timely and practical shopping tips, we'll hear from our consumer reporter, Melanie Ducanal.
Joyful music is in the air. The bright lights and decorations have been put up, and your TV is constantly running commercials about holiday shopping. Now is the time to determine who has been naughty or nice, and to find where the best deals are to get the most bang for your buck. It is a daunting task. With a little strategy and planning, though, you can get through the holidays protecting your identity and hard-earned money. The National Retail Federation forecasts that consumers plan to spend an average of $935.58 during the holiday shopping season. Total planned spending this year is second only to the record total spending in 2015 at $952.58. That is a lot of moolah. This is the time when retailers compete feverishly to get shoppers to visit their stores and their websites. If you're planning to do most of your shopping at brick-and-mortar stores, be sure to keep these BBB tips in mind. Do your research. Visit bbb.org/Detroit or call us at 248-223-9400 to obtain free BBB business profiles. Remember, BBB business profiles have been optimized for smartphones. Number 2, make sure you're getting the real deal. Do you know if a sale is really a sale? Many times companies boast 70% off, but 70% off of what? It always pays to comparison shop. Take time to check prices on the same items at other stores. By starting some of your shopping at home, you can quickly see how prices vary within a given category. Number 3, watch for specials. Newspapers often have store advertisements or inserts that outline discounts throughout the holiday season. Other specials are posted online. By keeping your eyes open and ear to the ground, you can find deals others might miss. Number 4, return policies, restocking fees, and refunds. Ask for the store's return policy before you make your purchase. Companies are not required to give you your money back, but they need to post their return policy prominently near the cashier. Also, always ask about restocking fees and save your receipts in one place so you don't lose them. Many companies will require you to produce a receipt for a return. Ask for gift receipts. Number 5, watch out for online deals too good to be true. While many retailers offer doorbuster specials designed to bring the customers into their stores, some websites offer suspiciously low prices on sought-after goods in an effort to entice shoppers into turning over their credit card information. Internet shopping can be tricky. Stick to trustworthy websites and look for BBB's seal and other recognized trust marks. Be sure to click on the seals to confirm that they are valid. For more BBB holiday shopping tips, visit bbb.org/Detroit. We have you covered, and I'm Melanie Ducanel, President and CEO of the Better Business Bureau serving Eastern Michigan, always here to help.
That brings us to the end of this 15 News Weekly edition. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube by searching for Southfield Multimedia Services. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.
The snow may fall, but I don't mind at all, because you keep me winter warm. It's cold and wet, but I won't get upset. With you, I'm always winter warm. The skies are gray,